What's going on, guys? I'm back with another video. Now this video is going to be discussing the NFL power rankings. We're going to be going from 32 to 1. Also, just so you know, I have a new microphone that I will be using from now on. Tell me if the quality sounds better. But with that, let's get started. Number 32, I have the Arizona Cardinals. Now this team looks bad on paper. It's going to look even worse with Kyler Murray out for the first 6 weeks of the season with that injury he took to the Patriots. I can't see this team getting more than 5 wins at the point that they are in, just because their defense is bad, brand new coach that will probably be replaced last year, and I think they're going for tanking for Caleb Williams in the draft next year. So, I guess that's what they are hoping for, really, here. So they really don't want too many wins then. 31, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, this team just lost the best quarterback to ever play football, best player to ever play football, in Tom Brady. And you're going to replace him with Kyle Trask and Baker Mayfield? I don't think so. Now, obviously, I could see Baker Mayfield playing good, but I hate the coaching in Todd Bowles. Terrible coach. So, I could see Baker doing decent here, because he'll have weapons with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. So that will be good for him. But I couldn't see this team. I could see them trying to make a push for this division, because their division is very bad, but I can't see them winning it. On to our next team. At 30, we have the Indianapolis Colts. Now, this team could be good, but I think Anthony Richardson is a project quarterback, just like a Josh Allen type of guy, where he's not going to be good the first couple of years. And I do expect that Anthony Richardson will get the starting job in week 1 with Matt Ryan retiring. But this team will not be good throughout this season. They obviously have Jonathan Taylor. But you have to wonder how much is he going to be able to do if they don't have a quarterback that will perform. Now, could Anthony Richardson perform this season? He very well could perform good this season, but I don't think he will under a new coach. But that's going to bring us to 29 on our list. The Los Angeles Rams. Now, the Los Angeles Rams won a Super Bowl 2 years ago. But last year, they were hurt so much. I mean, Cooper cut a cup out. Aaron Donald wasn't performing to his standards, which are very high. He was still good, but defense is out. You got rid of Jalen Ramsey. So, how good will this team be? I mean, could we see Stetson Bennett getting half of the starting snaps? I don't think that would be a bad idea, really. Because I don't like that. I like the Stetson Bennett pick for the Rams. But you obviously lost Jalen Ramsey to the Dolphins for just a 3rd-round pick, which is insane. But they won't be able to compete in a high division with the 49ers. So, I couldn't see them competing with the 49ers. Now, at 28 on our list, the Falcons. Now, one of the most questionable moves of the draft was drafting Bijan Robinson at 8, which, if we learned anything in the past couple of years, it is not to draft a running back early in the draft. wait till the second round. But obviously, Bijan Robinson is an insane talent coming out of college and going into the NFL. He is probably one of the most NFL-ready running backs, but we have to wonder how much can he really do for the struggling Arizona Falcons team. So, with that, next on our list, we have the Raiders. Now, the Raiders lost Derek Carr, and they signed Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo may have more wins. He might. But if we compare these two guys' stats and look over at their careers, I would much rather have Derek Carr leading my team than Jimmy Garoppolo. And I blame most of all of the Raiders' downfall last year on Mike McDaniels. Or Josh McDaniels, whatever his name is, that's Dolphins coach. Whatever the Raiders coach name is, pretty sure it's Josh McDaniels. Terrible coach. Shouldn't be coaching in the NFL unless he's the offensive coordinator. Bringing in too many Patriots. Number 26 on our list are the Saints. Now, this team could perform well with Chris Olave and Derek Carr, who we were just talking about, but how much will Derek Carr be able to do to this team that just 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, they made the divisional round, but that was with one of the best quarterbacks of all time with Drew Brees, so how much will Derek Carr be able to do? That's the question we have to be asking ourselves as we try and predict their record this year. 25, we have the Texans. This team could be decent. I think they'll have 5+ wins on the season just because of Will Anderson and C.J. Stroud, two amazing players. Will Anderson, probably the best NFL-ready, one of the most NFL-ready guys out of this draft, who should be able to dominate the NFL in years to come. Oh, next on our list, we have another team with a new quarterback, the Panthers with Bryce Young. Now, I like how they do have Frank Reich out there, because I think that he will be a very good addition to this team. But how much will Bryce Young be able to do with a struggling roster? I mean, they have some pieces on defense that I really do like with Brian Burns, Derek Brown, Jeremy Chin. But they lost their leading receiver, replaced them with Adam Thielen. So we have to wonder, what will Bryce Young be able to do after going to... He just played Alabama, one of the best teams that has ever in college football. So he's playing with top-of-the-line talent. We have to wonder, how much will he be able to do in this transition year? I think he will be an NFL star, but I don't know if year one he will be. Broncos. This Broncos team could be up or down. They could have a year like this if Russ can't cook again, like he couldn't last year. But Sean Payton, one of the best coaches, can perform, or not even perform, but if he can coach good, which Nathaniel Hackett could not do last year, this team will be good and dangerous. But the reason I have them at 23 is because if they flop and we look back at this list at the end of the year, I don't want this Broncos team at 10 or 12. Now, going on to 22 on our list, we have the Commanders. Now, the Commanders are a very interesting team with Sam Howell playing quarterback this year. So we have to wonder, how will he perform? But Taylor Heineke almost got this team to the playoffs if Carson Wentz didn't come in the last week of the season or something like that. It ruined their playoff hopes, but one of the main reasons is their defense that I like. Pretty sure Chase Young's coming back this year, so I really am excited to see what he will be able to do after being injured the past couple of years, after just going number 2 overall. But it's going to be an interesting year, and obviously one of their best players, Terry McLaurin, amazing route runner, an amazing pass catcher. 21, we have the Bears. Now, we have to see what Justin Fields is really about in this passing game, because they're giving him weapons for the first time in the year, and he's getting offensive line help out of the draft. So, they have DJ Moore. So, this year should be interesting for them. Number 20, division rivals with the Bears, the Green Bay Packers. This team could be good, but we don't know when you lost your guy that's been starting for you since 2007 or 2008, just left to go to the Jets. Are we going to see what happened with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, where Aaron Rodgers passed the torch down to Jordan Love for the next couple of years, and then we could see Rodgers going to the Vikings? Possibly. But we really don't know how this team is going to fit with losing a franchise quarterback that was Aaron Rodgers. Next up on our list, at 19, we have the Tennessee Titans. This is going to be very interesting, how Will Levis can perform after getting hyped up to go in the first round, one of the first picks, and then dropping all the way to the second round, because he has not been looking good in training camp. Malik Willis has been outplaying him, but I think Will Levis might get the starting job just because he is more ready, and we've seen what Malik Willis has done last year. But I will not be surprised if Malik Willis gets more of the starts, and maybe next year or the year after we see Will Levis being cut. We obviously have to talk about Derrick Henry, my favorite running back in the NFL. Just powers through people. Now you add DeAndre Hopkins to this team. Now you have to wonder, what could this team be if Will Levis, Malik Willis, or even Ryan Tannehill, who I haven't talked about yet, can perform at a high level this year? This team could be dangerous, but it also could be terrible. Last year they got hurt a lot. So, this team will be interesting to watch. So, moving in to 18 on our list, we have the Steelers. Kenny Pickett's been improving. They obviously still have Mike Tomlin, who hasn't had a losing record since like 2007, which is insane. George Pickens, TJ Watt, Cameron Hayward. So this team is very talented. But can they put all these pieces in place? That's going to be the real question moving forward. 17, we have the Patriots. Now, getting a real offensive coordinator is going to be huge moving on from Matt Patricia. Obviously, we've seen why DeAndre Hopkins might have part of the reason DeAndre Hopkins didn't sign with the Patriots really could have been because of Bill O'Brien when he traded him. So, but Mac Jones should be happy being able to pass the ball further than a screen pass. So, they obviously have Bill Belichick, Matthew Judon, Christian Gonzalez out of the draft. So, this will be interesting. Number 16, we got the Seattle Seahawks. Now, this team with Geno Smith, who had the comeback player of the year, he didn't come back from any injury. Came back from being terrible, so I don't think he really should have won it. But the Seahawks are coached well with Pete Carroll. He's won a Super Bowl, almost 2, should have been 2. But they have an insane receiving core going into this year. Most people would dream of having a receiving core of DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Now they bring Jackson Smith into that mix out of Ohio State, which will be insane to see this three-headed monster of a receiving core. Moving into 15 on our list, this is one that could be very good or very bad. The Cleveland Browns. Now, this is all depending on how Deshaun Watson plays. If he can play at 75% of the form he was playing at in Houston, this team's going to be good. If he can't, that team is going to be bad. Now, we also have Nick Chubb, who will be amazing running back. If not Derrick Henry, my favorite running back. Myles Garrett. We'll see if this defense can be good finally. So, now 14, the Vikings. Now this year for the Vikings was tough in their offseason. Losing Dalvin Cook, lost hometown kid Adam Thielen. Also, Zadarius Smith. How good are they going to be? Because look at how they won their games last year, and it wasn't by a lot of points. It was narrowly winning. So, are they going to keep on getting lucky how they were last year? It has to be the question. 13, I have the Giants. This team could go up if Saquon decides to leave the Giants. But they look good with Brian Daboll. Gave way too much money to Daniel Jones. And they re-signed Dexter Lawrence. So, number 12, the Detroit Lions. I think if there was other coaches who went into Detroit, they would not have done as good of a job as Dan Campbell. My favorite coach in the NFL, coming from a Bills fan. He is amazing and brings that intensity to win to this Detroit Lions team. The Dolphins, this team could be up and down. Is Tua going to get hurt? They haven't improved the offensive line to help him not hit as many head injuries as he did last year. 3 concussions in a year is unacceptable, and you have to wonder, why is he staying in the NFL? This could be his final year. So, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Robbie Anderson, obviously added Jalen Ramsey to a good defense. So this team will be interesting. Number 10, the Jets. Now, the Jets are also going to be interesting. They're not a surefire going to be in the playoffs, just because we don't know how Aaron Rodgers will perform. But if he can perform at one of his MVP years, I could see this Jets team winning the Super Bowl, just because Sauce Gardner with a good defense. How much better can you get? You have the defensive player of the year and the offensive player of the year from last year. So, if Aaron Rodgers can perform well, this team could make a deep playoff run. But will they be able to knock off one of the top people in the AFC, like the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Bills? Number 9, Jacksonville. Now, Urban Meyer might have sent this team back a year, but Trevor Lawrence has emerged as a star lately in the back end of last year. So this team will be very good. I like the Doug Peterson coaching. He makes some risky calls that work sometime, like in that Ravens game when he went for 2. Good call to win them the game. Probably won them that division. Ravens got Zay Flowers, got Lamar back, got OBJ. A very good offseason for the Ravens, securing their quarterback of the future with Lamar Jackson to a long-term deal. Now he is the highest paid NFL quarterback by yearly salary. I think $50 or $49 million a year, which is insane. Now we got the Chargers, better than the other LA team. They have a good roster, one of the best rosters actually. Just terrible coaching. They need to fire Brandon Staley. He is too aggressive. Now we'll look at the Dan Campbell example. He is very aggressive, but he knows when to be aggressive and when to stay back and kick the field goal. Brandon Staley does not. Now, number 6 on our list, the Dallas Cowboys. A very talented roster, but is Dak going to be throwing a bunch of picks like he was last year? Is going to be the question. Last year was unacceptable from Dak Prescott throwing that many interceptions. If he throws that many interceptions, this team won't get far. Trayvon Diggs, Micah Parsons. So, this team has potential to be very good. At number 5 on our list, we have my Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen. Now, I was talking about throwing interceptions with Dak Prescott, but when Dak Prescott throws interceptions, his defense cannot always back him up. The Bills' defense does in the regular season. Once we get into the postseason, we can't be doing what we've been doing. And if you want to go into more detail on that, watch my YouTube video on the Bills, which will go in depth to the Bills. Number 4 on our list, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow, amazing. Jamar Chase, amazing. T. Higgins, amazing. Tyler Boyd is great for number 3. He could be a number 2 anywhere else, really. Now, number 3 on our list, the 49ers. Good defense, good playmakers. Who's going to be starting at quarterback? Are we going to have Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, Trey Lance, or Sam Darnold? Any of these players could get the starting job, but I'm putting my money on Brock Purdy because he was great last year, so why not go with the hot hand? Number 2 on our list, this will reveal the number 1 team. We have the Kansas City Chiefs. Just after winning the Super Bowl, I have them at number 2. Why did I do that? Because there is a more talented team than them, and that is the Philadelphia Eagles. They're well coached, amazing players. You have Devontae Smith at your number 2. That is insane, with A.J. Brown at your number 1 receiver. And honestly, sometimes Devontae Smith can be the receiver 1, as we saw the 1 year with him. But we have to also think how many Georgia players there is on that team. The defense will have connections. Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, they're going to have Georgia flashbacks during some games, which will be amazing because they'll have connection already. That is already amazing. With that is the 2023 to 2024 power rankings. Comment down below what you think. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.